Y'all ever feel like you're running on a treadmill, working hard but going nowhere fast? That's how it feels without financial freedom. It's about more than just having money. It's about peace of mind. Now, achieving that peace, it ain't about winning the lottery. It's about building good habits, the kind that put you in control of your money, not the other way around. So y'all ready to take charge? We're gonna journey together, discovering 7 essential habits that'll put you on the path to financial freedom. Now, before we even talk about budgets or investments, we gotta figure out what we're aiming for. It's like hopping in the car without a destination. You might end up somewhere, but it ain't gonna be where you wanna be. Think about what truly matters to you. Is it owning a home? Sending your kids to college? Retiring early and spending your days fishing on the lake? Write those dreams down, every single one. Once you got them, we gotta prioritize. Some goals are gonna be more important than others, and that's all right. Put them in order, the most important at the top. This is your roadmap to financial freedom. Now here's a little secret. Don't just write them down and forget them. Put that list somewhere you'll see it every day. On the fridge, the bathroom mirror, even taped to your dashboard. Visualizing your goals, seeing them in front of you, it makes them real. It gives you something tangible to work towards, something to keep you motivated when those late-night spending urges hit. Adjust your goals as needed, but never lose sight of the big picture, achieving that financial peace of mind. So, take a moment, grab a pen and paper, and start dreaming big. All right, folks, now that we got our sights set on those dreams, it's time to wrangle our finances. And that starts with a budget. Now I know what you're thinking. Budget? That sounds about as fun as a root canal. But trust me on this one. A budget ain't about restricting yourself. It's about understanding where your hard-earned money is going and making it work harder for you. First things first, we gotta track our income and expenses. And I mean everything. That daily cup of coffee, write it down. That impulse buy at the grocery store, write it down. You'd be surprised where those dollars sneak off to. Once you got a handle on your spending, it's time to categorize. Divide everything into needs and wants. Needs are the essentials: housing, food, transportation. Wants are the extras: that fancy coffee, those designer jeans. Now, here comes the fun part: allocating your funds. Give every dollar a job. Decide how much goes to needs, how much goes to wants, and most importantly, how much goes towards your savings goals. Remember that emergency fund we talked about? That's a need, folks, and it deserves a good chunk of your income. And don't forget about those long-term goals: retirement, investments, that dream vacation. Every little bit adds up. There are tons of tools out there to help you stay on track: apps, spreadsheets, even good old-fashioned pen and paper. Find what works for you and make it a habit. So review it often, adjust as needed, and watch those financial goals get closer and closer. Y'all ever been caught in a sudden downpour without an umbrella? It's not a good feeling, is it? Well, that's what it's like facing an unexpected financial emergency without an emergency fund. Life's full of surprises, and not all of them are good. Your car could break down, you could lose your job, or your roof could spring a leak. But here's the good news. With a little preparation, you can weather those storms without going financially overboard. That's where the emergency fund comes in. Now, how much should you stash away? A good rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. I know, that sounds like a lot. But trust me, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Start small if you have to, even if it's just $50 a month. The important thing is to be consistent. Make it automatic. Set up a direct deposit from your checking account to your savings account. Now, here's the catch. The emergency fund is for emergencies only. That means no dipping into it for a new TV or a weekend getaway. Think of it like a fire extinguisher. You don't use it unless there's an actual fire. Building an emergency fund takes time and discipline, but the peace of mind it provides is priceless. So start building your financial safety net today. Now, let's talk about a subject nobody likes to discuss: debt. It's like that uninvited guest at a party, the one who just won't leave. But just like that unwelcome guest, we got to deal with debt head on. First off, let's understand the different types of debt. There's good debt, like a mortgage that helps you build equity, and then there's bad debt, like high-interest credit cards that can trap you in a cycle of payments. The key to conquering debt is to have a plan, a strategy to tackle it head on. Start by listing out all your debts, from the smallest to the largest. Include the interest rates, minimum payments, and any other relevant details. Now here's a popular approach, the debt snowball method. Focus on paying off the smallest debt first, while making minimum payments on everything else. Once that smallest debt is gone, take the money you were paying on it and add it to the next smallest debt. It's like gaining momentum as you go, knocking down those debts one by one. Each debt you conquer gives you a sense of accomplishment, motivating you to keep going. While you're working on paying off existing debt, it's crucial to avoid taking on new debt. Put those credit cards on ice, folks. If you can't afford to pay cash for something, you probably don't need it right now. Remember, getting out of debt is a marathon, not a sprint. All right, folks, now that we've tackled those pesky debts, it's time to talk about putting your money to work for you. That's right, we're talking about investing. Now, I know what you're thinking. Investing? That's for fancy folks with suits and briefcases. But let me tell you, investing is for everyone, regardless of your income level. The sooner you start, the better. Time is your greatest ally when it comes to investing. Thanks to the power of compound interest, your money grows exponentially over time. It's like planting a tree. The best time to plant one was 20 years ago, but the second best time is today. Now, I ain't gonna lie. The world of investing can seem intimidating at first. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, it's enough to make your head spin. But here's the thing. You don't have to be a financial whiz to get started. There are tons of resources available to help you, from books and websites to financial advisors. Take your time, do your research, and find an investment strategy that aligns with your goals and risk tolerance. One of the most important principles of investing is diversification. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, as the saying goes. Spread your investments across different asset classes, like stocks, bonds, and real estate, to minimize your risk. Now let's talk about a habit that's often overlooked, but is absolutely crucial for building wealth saving consistently. It ain't glamorous, but trust me, it's the secret sauce to financial freedom. Think of saving like planting a garden. You wouldn't expect a bountiful harvest if you only watered your plants once in a while, would you? The same goes for your finances. Small, consistent contributions to your savings add up over time, thanks to the magic of compound interest. Compound interest is like your money's best friend. It's the interest you earn on your initial savings plus the interest you earn on that interest. The key to harnessing the power of compound interest is to start early and be consistent. Even if you can only spare a small amount each month, it'll add up over time. Make saving a non-negotiable part of your budget, just like paying your rent or your utility bills. Automate your savings whenever possible. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your savings account each month. Remember, saving ain't about depriving yourself. Well, folks, we've come to the final habit on our journey to financial freedom, committing to lifelong financial education. Now, I know what you're thinking. Education? But I thought we were done with school. Listen, when it comes to your money, there's always something new to learn. The financial world is constantly changing, and you gotta stay ahead of the curve if you want to thrive. Think of yourself as the CEO of your own personal finances. Every good CEO knows that continuous learning is essential for success. They read books, attend conferences, and surround themselves with experts. You can do the same. There are countless resources available to help you expand your financial knowledge, from books and podcasts to online courses and workshops. Find what interests you and dive in. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. There's no shame in seeking guidance from a financial advisor. Remember, financial literacy is an ongoing journey, not a destination. Well, folks, we've reached the end of our journey together. We've covered a lot of ground, from setting financial goals and creating a budget to building an emergency fund and investing for the future. Remember, achieving financial freedom ain't about winning the lottery or inheriting a fortune. It's about developing good habits, making informed decisions, and taking control of your financial destiny. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more financial tips and tricks. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. Let's spread the message of financial empowerment far and wide.